Chill. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. How's life in your world?
Man, it's a beautiful day in the nation's capital.
Very good. All right. You would like to see some changes to Social Security disability. What are the problems with the system now, and what changes would you like to see made?
Well, first, in the Social Security disability system, we have a large percentage of people who go on it that probably it's possible they aren't really permanently disabled, and that was the plan for the Social Security disability system. Is if you were permanently disabled and could not work, that you could have that benefit. And what Senator Cotton and I have noticed is there's got to be a way for reevaluation on a more regular basis to see if people need to stay on the disability system or can they find some other form of work. And so what our bill does is it categorizes applicants as to their potential workability and then follows up and assesses their work capability and therefore can let them get off the Social Security disability system and get back into the workforce, which is what is good for our economy and what's good for them from a family point of view.
Congressman, I'm concerned about this, too. I mean, you also have problems for people that need Social Security disability. They can't get it for whatever red tape reason. They have to go to attorneys that take some of the profits from it. I had a mother-in-law that had some serious health issues. She couldn't work, so she's a year out before getting any income. Is there any look at that?
Yeah, anytime, and we look at that and we help people in our office, and I encourage anybody who's had a problem in the appointment or the determination process to check in with our office by just going to the website at hill.house.gov. Because people who truly need the service, we need to deliver it to them in the right way through the Social Security Administration in the states. And likewise, people who get on it but shouldn't be on it and don't need it take money away from those that do.
It's Congressman French Hill. House Speaker Paul Ryan outlined a plan to fight poverty. Anything of this magnitude, there's controversy with it. Why was there a plan that was needed to outline?
Well, we're in the 50th anniversary of the war on poverty from President Johnson's 1960s charge to try to eliminate poverty. We had about 14.5% of the population in poverty in 1965, and this year we have about 14.6 or 7% of the population in poverty. So after trillions of dollars being spent, what Paul Ryan wanted to do is let's take an assessment of all the programs that go to help those that are struggling to try to get on their feet and get a job and get started in life and escape poverty and see what we can do to make those programs more effective. It's why I have my community empowerment initiative in Little Rock, working and talking to all the people that help those in poverty and learning what works and what doesn't work. And it's also why I've been so involved in the skilled workforce caucus, trying to get people job skills so that when they turn 18 and leave high school that they can be ably employed. And you and I talked about ASU-BB, for example, last week. But this is something, the best poverty program, of course, is a job. And we need people to have skills and successful education in order to do that.
Are there some key points here, in addition to what you said, that this plan outlines?
Yeah, it tries to look at all the barriers to income. So if we have programs that are barriers to family life and cause people to not marry because of the structure of a program, we've looked at that. We've looked at programs that are structured that they prohibit people from going out and getting more income or they lose the benefit, whether it's a housing benefit or a food supplement benefit or something of that nature. And so it's really looking at the mechanics of these programs to encourage work and encourage education, but not trap families in poverty by the structure of the program.
It's Congressman French Hill, presidential candidate Donald Trump, making some very controversial statements against a judge in his Trump University case. It wasn't received very well by many of the Republicans in Congress there in Washington.
Yeah, I just don't think there's any place for that type of rhetoric in a campaign when you're campaigning to be president of the United States. And I've always tried to be an advocate for tolerance and understanding, and I hope that Donald Trump will learn from his mistake of criticizing this judge in a case. That's, in my view, not an appropriate way to operate. It's not in tradition with our legal system or the core values of the Republican Party. And I was pleased in the last 24 hours, I think, that he's kind of walked back those comments and understood that perhaps he overstated, and misstated that way of criticizing a judge. So I'm glad to see that he's been criticized for it because I didn't think it was appropriate.
Congressman, what else is on your plate before you take a recess?
Well, we're working this week, Kevin, to create an oversight board to help straighten out the financial mess down in the territory of Puerto Rico. This is the same process that the Congress used back in the 1990s to keep the District of Columbia lapsed due to too much debt and too much corruption and lack of good management in the District of Columbia. And it worked. An oversight board that demands a strict budget and demands strict accountability, that has the ability to oversee the territory, is something we're debating in Congress this week. And I think it's essential because that's how we prevent any kind of a taxpayer bailout of our territory of Puerto Rico. We need the Puerto Ricans to solve this problem. They need a stick to help them solve it, and I think that's what this oversight board legislation will do.
Congressman French Hill, thank you very much for the check-in this morning, and when you have a break, if you can make it in studio, I'd love to see you.
Love to see you, Kevin. Thanks.
Thanks.